Control. I need to mute my TV. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Oh, where's my remote? Looking for my remote so I can mute my TV. I don't know where's it. Oh, where is the remote? I should have muted the TV before I started the live. Oh, there you go. Good morning, everybody. I was just sitting back watching some things, catching up on some things on YouTube and seeing what was going on YouTube, and I saw that um um the lady with the fruit name, her mom was basically confronted at a casino about some things about a video that her daughter did, saying what type of mom she was when she was growing up. um And the lady and her husband had to do, they had to do what they had to do to protect themselves in that moment. And that is just so sad. Like, it's so sad that people take this internet stuff and they run with it or think it gives them a right to walk up on somebody that they do not know and try to confront them about a video that their child did about them. But just to even think that they have that kind of right, like, y'all don't know these people for real. What makes you think you can walk up on somebody in the casino and try to confront her about the type of mother that her child said that she is? To a point that you're so emotional that you're gonna risk your own freedom, and also risk yourself possibly getting dealt with because you that deep into somebody else's business. Like, it's no way y'all that deep into somebody else's business that y'all will walk up on somebody and do that. Just like the woman who walked up on her, the daughter, about her $35. She walked up on you about her $35 and she said it wasn't about the $35, but still, this is a stranger. Why would you walk up to that woman about that $35? Like, you deal with that junk online. Leave the online stuff online. Like, it can get dangerous. You walking up on somebody that you do not know, approaching them about some money because you try, and then you're recording. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get clout or whatever you're trying to get. But I understand the lady position about the $35. But the thing is this: at the same time, I would not have walked up on that lady in public. I wouldn't have walked up on Peachy in public about no $35. Dispute it with your bank. Like, it can't be that deep that you risk your own, safety for $35. Now not to do business with her no more. Dispute it with your bank and don't do business with the lady no more. Like, some things just don't require the lengths that some of you people on the internet go to. Sometimes y'all just go too far. Because in reality, listen. You don't walk up on nobody about nothing. All right, but what I want to talk about today, I saw her live today, Peachy. I saw her live on TikTok, right? And she was, now mind you, she just been with her sister. Everything was fine. So this is what I'm getting from her, right? She mentioned some things that kind of will tell us why she is the way that she is with her family. It's not her family. She is the problem. And I'm going to say it like this, and that's in my opinion, right? My opinion is this. Okay, the relationships can be going good. They can be on a good accord. And then one day she wakes up and she wants to think about the past, right? And she wants to bring up the past, and then it starts new traumas. It starts new situations because she decided to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And most of the time, when she wake up on the side of the bed, her husband has done something to her. He's done something to make her feel a particular type of way. And instead of her dealing with him, she bothers her family. Hey, paranormal gaming, how you doing? She will bother her family, and she'll try to degrade her family or bring up old things that her family has done instead of dealing with her husband. Because she rather deal with them and cut them out of her life before she cut that man out of her life. All right, so to go back to the thing about when a woman walked up on her with about the $35, right? The lady walked up on you about $35 and and she had her man with her, your man with you as well. You telling your man to record, he won't even record. Once that man first said something to you, that was the time right there for your man to step up and get in position. Lele got your tablet, baby. That was the time right now for your husband to step up and get into position. Like, wait a minute, you don't have nothing to say to my wife. You a man. I'm sitting here. That's just common respect, right? If my man's sitting right there, you address him. You don't address me. You know what I'm saying? My husband ain't finna let no man walk up and address me while he's standing right there. You can be like, bro, that's my wife. You holler at me. But no, he sat there and like she said, he wouldn't even record. So not only does this man not provide, he also does not protect. But him, I love that man. I just can't. You can't cut him out your life no matter what he do, no matter how many times he make a fool out of you, no matter how many times he don't do what you expect, even if something simple as buying you a little $10 bouquet of flowers. Your husband don't have to do none of that. But you won't cut him out your life. But you will do your mama, your sister, your brother, all of them just flat out dirty. Come online and tell all their business. That ain't your business to tell. You come online and degrade your family to the worst aspects of things, but then you come on here and say that you're trying to motivate everybody else. How you trying to motivate everybody else while you in the midst of tearing everybody down? Because before you try to uplift the people on the internet, you make sure that you tear them down first. You talk about how broke they is, how they on Section 8, how they on food stamps. You tear them down first, and then you say it's all about mindset. I do that so y'all can really see y'all lives for what it is. Why you can't see your own life for what it is? See your own life for what it is. Why you out here trying to judge everybody else for what's going wrong in their life and for their indiscretions and what they have and don't have? You ain't taking the time to deal with yourself. You can't hear yourself because you're too busy worrying about everybody else's business. Then she came out and told something about a situation with her sister's son just getting caught, having a weapon. Like, why is you telling their business? Like, you be out of pocket. She be so out of pocket. If you don't deal with the people, stop telling their business. It's like you go around or they trust you enough with just some information and you turn around and turn it into content to make you more money. But then you talk about how you're not giving them no money, but you make money off their business. You make money off of downgrading your family. You make money off of making them seem like they're the worst people in the world and about what everybody do to you. Everybody's done everything to you your whole life. Even you said today, she mentioned today that the auntie said that she couldn't come back to her house because of her mouth. And remember, I did a video before and I said, I think most people probably don't deal with her because she run her mouth too much. And it was probably the same thing when she was a child. She probably would carry people business out of their house. And they'd probably tell her mom, like, Tracy, she can't come over here no more. That little girl run her mouth too much. And it was probably that type of situation. It wasn't so much that she was a black sheep, in my opinion. Could be right, could be wrong. It was the fact that she was a little girl that carried. She was a little girl that carried bones. She ran her mouth entirely too much. But it's just shocking. And then she mentioned one thing, and I think this is an issue with her mama, y'all. If y'all listen to her long enough, you will see. If you listen to Peachy long enough, you will see what her issues is. And her issues ain't with everybody else. Her issues is how unhappy she is in her life. She's a great example is that you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. You can have all the money in the world, money can't buy happiness. She is a prime example of that, right? Now, she mentioned, yes, she said how much she loved her stepdaddy, which is the man that her mom was with. And she said, yeah, he loved her. Everybody deserved love. Then she said, well, but she mentioned that her mama didn't deserve it. So I think her issue with her mama and why she dog her so much is because her mama got a real man. You feel me? Her mama must have got the man that she want. You feel what I'm saying? Her mama got everything that she want and would. Okay? Her mama got that in her husband. That's why she continued to try to tear that lady down on this internet. If you listen to her long enough, like I say, you will hear what the issues are. The issues are no matter how much you try to tell them people down, and they don't have as much money as her, but they happier than her. They not laying beside a man every day that they up and down. Every day they wake she waking up wondering whether or not he really love her, wondering whether or not he really like her. Only thing you want is my tunture. You say stuff like that with pride, and you're somebody's wife. But then you said she mentioned something. She said she disliked single mothers because of something that a single mother used to do to her when she was little. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. You are ridiculous. You be sounding ridiculous, and the stuff that you say makes no sense. You brung all your childhood trauma into your adult life, and you use it as a crutch to be a mean person. You use it as a crutch to try to downgrade other people that's in the situations that the people that made you feel a certain type of way as a child that they were in. That's not right. That's not right, and it's ridiculous. It makes zero sense that you think it's okay to move like that. That makes you a bad person. Now you're talking about, oh yeah, some of the most evilest people's in church and this and that. Now that I can agree with. A lot of people, a lot of Bible toters, excuse me, are the worst people in real life. And I have to agree with her on that. A lot of people hide behind the word of God and they judge people. They do the worst things. They commit more sins than we do. And and so we all know that. Although I'm definitely into God. But I'm talking about those Bible totes, those ones that act like they perfect. They follow every last single word in the Bible. They don't do nothing wrong. And behind closed doors, They be ridiculous, honey. They do way worse stuff than the ones that understand that God is still working on me. The ones that understand that they're still a work in progress. But Peachy is a mess. You hear me? Everybody, and I can understand everybody feeling sorry for her. We've all gone through things. I've told some of my story as well. We've all gone through things. But again, your childhood traumas does not give you the right to downgrade people. Your childhood traumas does not give you the right to get on here and try to bash people and consistently just keep regurgitating the same thing. You've told these stories about your family before, and every time they get something new, here you go. The first one on here telling their business or telling their story. That is probably why those people never dealt with you or didn't want to deal with you, because you was probably the same. You probably had these same type of character flaws as a child, and y'all already know, honey. Anything you say or do around a child, baby, they gonna carry. You know, you got those kids. That's why them old people used to say don't have those children around when you talking and stuff like that. Because I got a grandbaby that do that, honey. She is a, but I'm constantly on her about being a bone carrier. Stop being a bone carrier, little girl. I tell that all the time. You carry one bone from one place to the other. But at the same time, as adults, we have to take, we have to understand that, when we had a conversation around child and they carry it, the fault is on us. Because the children, you have to teach them to stop running their mouth. But as adults, we already know the conversations that are appropriate and inappropriate. If you don't want nothing to get carry, baby, you don't say it around no child. But I just think that that's the type of child that she was, just from the things that she say, that made people maybe not want to deal with her. But it just trips me out so bad because you made yourself mad on the live, thinking about something back in the day when you said all these, y'all, all these years ago, said that her sister wouldn't feed her son. Said she had went broke and her sister wouldn't feed her son. Now, mind you, her and her sister been good all this time. You sat there and thought about something. Hey, Rosalind, you sat there and thought about something to make yourself mad and then told your sister F her. Like, what kind of mental case? Like, girl, y'all having a great relationship now, but you went back and tried to think of something from years and years ago to start drama today in 2023. Now, if y'all can't find something wrong with that, something wrong with y'all. A person that's just constantly trying to, she is the negative energy in her own family. She's probably the negative energy in her life. All the money in the world is not making her happy. Peachy needs to go to therapy. You can't have a mindset, the mindset. Well, you can. I can't tell you what you can and can't have, but what I'm saying is, it's just that it's questionable when you say one thing, but you operate your life in a totally different atmosphere. You operate your life with trying to tear down everybody around you. That is what we see constantly on the internet. You trying to tear down everybody around you. Everybody around you is wrong, but you. Everybody are wrong but you. You don't do nothing wrong. You got all the answers to everything. You've done everything right. Your whole life, you've been the victim. Well, what you say, overcomer. You're an overcomer. Now, you ain't overcame nothing. Because once you overcame something, you don't keep regurgitating it. It don't make you cry every time you talk about it. You haven't overcome it, baby. You got work to do. Just like you tell everybody else they got work to do. You do too. But you too busy every time somebody tries to in your family tries to elevate or do something good. You don't never come on here and tell us what the good things your family do. Not one good thing, but we see it. When you was in that hospital, we saw your sister come visit you. We saw your mama up to that hospital with you and your baby. We saw those things. We saw your brother come helping when you decided to put your husband out. We saw those things. So none of those things were good enough for you to kind of stop trying to dig in the past and find a reason to dislike those people. None of that was good enough for you to just understand that everybody is flawed, everybody is perfectly imperfect, that the things they may have done to you as a child wasn't intentional, that they probably were just, moving off trauma too. Even your brothers and sisters, because if y'all all came up in the same house, how you know some of the traumas that you felt they didn't feel? But they just dealt with it, or they were able to cover it up differently. They didn't allow it to control their lives. They didn't allow it to make them grow into a person that constantly tries to tear down your own flesh and blood. The great thing about grace, this is the same thing that God does for us. No matter who we was yesterday, once we go to him, we ask to repent. We ask God to help us be more like him, less like us, to help, to help us be better people. We pray that he come in and help us be better people, right? Everybody can change, right? And like I said, we've all had indiscretions, and none of us have ever been perfect all our lives. All of us have made very bad mistakes sometimes. Some mediocre, some big. None of us are perfect. But how can you expect God to forgive you when you can't forgive nobody but your husband? He the only one can still have access to you, and he the one tearing you down more than anybody from what you're showing. I'm gonna say that. It seems to be that he's the one tearing you down more than anybody that's ever crossed you in your life. Because you carry childhood trauma, but then you got a man who's constantly bringing you daily trauma, tearing down your mental. You constantly have to question whether or not he loves you. You constantly have to question whether or not he can even tolerate your presence. You don't love yourself, in my opinion. I don't care how much time you scream to the top of your lungs that you do, you don't. Because if it did, everything that everybody do wouldn't affect you so much. It is impossible to be the perfect person. Exactly. It's not possible to be a perfect person. And we are all imperfect. Nobody's perfect. None of us possess the qualities to be a perfect person. And I don't aim to be. And I will hope anybody else don't aim to be. Just aim to be you. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Perfection is not something you should be aiming for, because you'll live your whole life never reaching that goal. Because understand, no matter how much good you do in this world, no matter what you do in this world, it's going to always be somebody that's going to have something negative to say. It's going to always be somebody that try to find some bad in the good that you do. So you will never be able to appease everybody in this world. So I wouldn't even bother trying or to be perfect, because I'm living my life the way I choose to live my life. I don't need validation from outsiders or insiders, people that's around me. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live my life. You're going to accept me, flaws and all, or you're not. Everybody has a choice, right? But what I won't do is live my life constantly trying to tear the people around me down to make myself feel bigger. You understand? God has already blessed Peachy with a platform. God has already blessed Peachy from coming from Section 8 and food stamps and all that to being a six-figure content creator. So God is already blessing you. But he don't bless you to feel like you're in a position to tear everybody else down. Humble yourself, girl. Humble yourself, girl. What is wrong with you? You're grown behind a woman. You see Raw wave and start crying. Girl, you grown. You got a whole husband. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't cry when I see my husband, baby. I ain't crying over no doggone celebrity. What are we crying for? He ain't doing nothing for you. He don't even probably know you exist. You chase, you know what I mean? It's like she chases illusions of what she wants her life to be, which she manifests her life, which is awesome. Stuff like that I love seeing, right? So that's the thing that continues to keeps me following her, because I love to see a woman who come from nothing materialistically, because you're born everything, you're born. Hey, good morning, Tips World Talk. You're born being somebody. I don't care what this world try to say you are. When you get birth and when you take that first breath, baby, you're somebody, right? No matter what the world try to tell you that you have to be considered somebody. They didn't make you, and they can't take your joy. They can't add or subtract any value from who you are. You should know that you the best version of yourself. And if you're not, that's all you should be working towards. Being the best version of yourself, regardless of what people think or society may think that you should be. But Peachy, she has an issue. She is the issue in this situation. Again, in my opinion, from what I see. Because relationships can be perfect, but it's like she trying to tear down everything good in her life. She don't give people a chance to love her. She loves to be that little girl that was in that negative place, that felt like everybody was against her, or she keeps using that black sheep word. We've all went through situations where that's just like me. Okay, I got 8 children. Excuse me, I got 9. I have 9 children, right? And when I was coming up, when we were raising our children, nobody wanted to keep all our kids at one time, right? But if I felt like I needed a break, it was okay for me to pick up the phone and say, "Can such and such come over?" And that's if I ever would have wanted that. I would have known that that's what I would have needed to do. I would have needed to call somebody and ask them, "Can my kids come over?" I'm not going to take the time to sit at home and watch them with their kids and pay attention to who they let come to their house just to be able to say, "Oh, everybody else's kids could come to your house, but mine couldn't." Like, what kind of ridiculous mess is that? I understood the fact that I had multiple children, that nobody wasn't going to want to keep all them kids. I respect it, even if they have their own children. That's just having a respect level for other people, because we decided to lay down and have all them kids. Nobody else is obligated to rock them babies but us. That obligation only lies with us, not mama, not daddy, not cousin, not sister, not brother. Okay, that don't make them bad people because they wasn't rocking all them doggone children. That ain't their responsibility. That's you and the father's responsibility. And me, that's one thing me and my husband always understood. This our issue. We laid down and had all these children. I always understood that my children wasn't nobody else's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she makes it seem like every little thing now they bad people because they didn't want to watch your children. Child, bye. No. For one, you have, children that need special attention. You have one, I think it's just one, that has special attention, and he probably is just more comfortable with you. Everybody don't know how to deal with babies, that need special attention. And they don't want to mess up. It ain't so much that they don't want to deal with them. Sometimes it's just that they're scared. They're fearful. They don't know. They don't want to say the wrong thing or trigger the baby and in a way. So sometimes they shy away from it. It ain't because they don't love the baby. They just more comfortable if you're present because they understand that a lot of times children in those conditions are just more comfortable with their parents. They're on one set routine and a lot of times they don't like anything to be out of place. They don't like anything about their daily life to change, because they've gotten adapted to it, right? So, again, a lot of times people shy away just for that reason. But like I said, today you woke up on something totally different, talking about the issue with your mom in the casino. You had no sympathy. Let me tell you something. My mom was living, I wish somebody would. You walk up on, I don't care about how many videos I put out. It don't give you the right to walk up on nobody's mama and try to get physical with them over a doggone video that their daughter did. Like, what can your mind, like, what type of brain cell in your brain started to operate and told you that it was okay to walk up on that girl mama because this girl talked about some traumas that happened when she was a little girl. She said her mama made her bathe in her dirty bath water. And so that makes her the worst fat mother in the world. What was the situation? Do we know the situation? Could it have been that, that's just like, okay, I'm trying to see how I would say that. Could have been a situation where maybe they just ain't have water. They was moving quick. You get in, I get out type thing. I don't know. It's not something that I would never do. But do y'all think that's really something as an adult to still be whining about? To hate, to dislike your mama about? You said it only happened one time. And so you going to drag your mama through the mud right now as an adult because of that. Like, y'all, the math just ain't math. It's just like this woman loves to have something to victimize herself with. And then she bring it to him, and everybody want to give her amens. Yeah, I understand. Get away from this, get away from that. But all y'all saying that, but none of y'all is there to comfort that woman. None of y'all is around her to comfort her when she crying. None of y'all are around her to help her with them children. None of y'all are around to mend the broken pieces of her. But yet, y'all continue to encourage her to be this person. Y'all continue to encourage her to tear down her mama. Encourage her and want to listen and eavesdrop while she encourage her to tear down her sister, tear down her brother, tear down everybody around her. Because what y'all, and she said she don't want to raise broken kids, but you are. Because you basically trying to, everybody that come in their life, you trying to tear down. Gregory McKay was just with at the skate ring with his cousin. You understand? Now you're gonna stir up confusion between the mamas, and those children are who gonna suffer. Because if they close cousins like that, it may be a situation where, the baby's not gonna be able to hang out. All because of you. All because you woke up today and decided that you wanted to be on the wrong side of bed, and you decided that you wanted to pick with people. And it seemed like nobody want to just be honest about the situation. And like I said, she said a lot with saying a little. Your mama don't deserve the love she get from your stepdad. That lady is jealous of her mama, in my opinion. She's jealous of the way that man loved her mama. I don't care what nobody say. She said it herself today. She didn't say she was jealous of it, but she said her mama didn't deserve it. Why would you go that far? Why would you go that far to say that your mama don't deserve genuine love from somebody? I see it. Let mommy on live. I'll be with you in 1 second, okay? Go play with your toys, boo. And mommy will taste it when I get off, Bubba. Y'all, she got these little foods, child. She just be wanting me to these little kitchen set things. Child, she feed me all day with these things. Like, why would you think your mom deserves genuine love? You want your mom to live the rest of her life miserable because of childhood trauma you say that she's inflicted, right? But you wish no good for her, right? But then wonder why things in your life, no matter how much money you got, nothing can elevate in your life as far as your mental. But then you wish no good for nobody else in your life, but all good is supposed to come to you. How can you operate like that? How can you think that everything in your life is supposed to be peaches and cream? Everything in your life is supposed to be all good when you wish nothing but bad for your own family? That way of operating seems very mental to me. In my opinion, that's mental. But then you constantly say you're not a victim, you're not a victim, you're not a victim, you're not a victim, but you show victim, 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 victim. The things that you show, that's what it is. Like I said, like you bringing your sister business out there about her son. That was that lady personal business she dealing with her son. He's 16 around here carrying this and that, this and that. Oh, but I love my nephew. Oh, but you degrade him first. You talk down about him first. Did you happen to take the time to go talk to your nephew, see why your nephew was carrying what he was carrying? Did you take the time as an auntie to go over there and sit him down? What you doing, bro? Why you getting in trouble like this? Why you feel like you got to carry this and carry that? Why you feel like no, you didn't. You took upon yourself to come on the internet and tell your nephew 16, your 16-year-old nephew's business and try to make the little man look bad. Like you are the problem. And I don't care how many classes you offer, how much stuff you're supposed to do on the internet. Like, bro, you are the problem. You are ridiculous. Your family don't come on here and bash you like that. Although you drag them through the mud and back. Every time you willing to be open to those people, they come back. And then when you want to kick them to the curb, they go in grace. Baby, I don't think the family the problem, in my opinion. She the problem. Because ain't no way. Just like y'all always say, you can't keep allowing your your childhood traumas to control the type of adult that you're gonna be. You so broken, so broken, so broken. Do something about it. Go get fixed. Go get healed. You're gonna live the rest of your life crying. You're gonna live the rest of your life trying to dim other people's light so you can feel like yours can shine brighter because you feel like you got to get back to what they did to you as a child. So you're going to live your whole life trying to dim the light of your whole family just so yours can shine brighter. It don't work like that because a lot of people going to see straight through you. A lot of people have gone through childhood traumas, myself included. But you think I'm going to live my whole life trying to bash all the people that hurt me as a child? What does that really do for me? Because what I do understand is that sometimes some people change. I've changed. I wasn't always the person that I am today. Not that I'm perfect because I'm not, but I wasn't always the person that I am today. So what if everybody held me at a standard that every little bad thing I've done in my life that represents the type of future I'm gonna have? You know, like it's just ridiculous, y'all. And I watch it. And I watch it. Like I said, I am a person that watches her videos. Um, like I said, I always my first thing that attracted me to her was that she was a woman with a lot of children, and she had became a six-figure content creator, and just watching her manifest her life, those type of things were inspiring. Um, and then it just became like you watched her change into this unhumble woman. Now you don't like single mothers. You don't like all this because of what you went through in the past. And the thing about it, you say this stuff like it's right. You say this stuff like, oh, because of what you went through, it's you can feel that way. You can't feel that way because nobody can tell you how to feel, but don't make it right. Like it's single mothers that's paying you. The majority. It's single moms that's probably giving you their last to learn how to do content creation. That's trying to change the life or to change the narrative of their life for them and their children. But you get on here and say, because of something you went through as a child with a single mother, you dislike single mamas. That's why I don't like single mamas. Girl, you're ridiculous because you're a single mama married. That's T. You're a single mama married. And you know, a lot of them single moms, honey, they pushing. They getting through without nobody laying behind beside them every day, making them miserable. They still making it happen for them and theirs. While you out here trying to say you don't like them because of something, the situation or encounter you've had with one single mama. That's the thing. You hold on to stuff. You hold on to stuff and you try to use it to downgrade and bash people. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous behavior as a grown behind woman. And in the position that you are, where you can really change the world if you wanted to, you choose to try to create separation, division, um, confusion. But anybody that be okay with the way she come on here and bash your family, something wrong with you. Like we all watching life be so short. We watching, things turn around right in front of our eyes, things that's never transpired. Anybody who promotes the way that Peachy tear her family down, something's wrong with you too mentally. You need to get the help you need too. Because there's no way that you wired like that to think that the things that this woman say and do to her family is right. Okay, we've heard the situations before. Why every time people start to forget, here you go regurgitate the same information to try to make people continue to bash your family? Like to the point where somebody walk up on your mama at the casino and think it's their right to try to approach her by what she allegedly did to you as a child. And like I said again, for the people that thought that they was okay with doing that, you too deep into the internet, baby. You need to mind yours. You are way too deep in somebody else's business. That you will walk up on somebody's child, you could have got yourself hurt real bad. People don't play like that. I don't care what you feel. Don't walk up on me. The internet is the internet. People can be whoever they want to be on this internet. People can say whatever they want to say on this internet. It don't make it true. And it don't make it untrue. Sometimes things are just said for entertainment. Sometimes somebody will tell a story and just to see the type of reaction. If it's a big reaction, they keep ad-libbing and adding to the story, things that never happened. But to make it more juicy, because they see the kind of feedback they get, they add lies to it. It could have started off as the truth, but then they add more and more lies to keep y'all engaged. They keep adding more and more to it. If they see, okay, the story about my mama gonna sell, the story about my husband gonna sell. This a woman still say, I'm a woman who got 7 kids and getting divorced from my husband, and her husband laying in the bed with her every night. Like y'all got to make it make sense. I'm a husband, a wife with 7 kids, divorcing my husband, but we trying to make our marriage work. Say what? Like, y'all gotta make it make sense. Like, this stuff is so contradictory. Like, she so contradicts herself. Peachy contradicts herself very bad, but y'all, it keeps selling. It keeps selling. So you can't be mad at her. She ain't slipping on her pippin when it comes to that bread. Big bag. She gonna get that big bag. And if y'all gonna keep indulging into it, you're gonna keep indulging into it. Like I said, even myself, I watch it. But when she do stuff like what she did today, starting with her sister for no reason, that kind of stuff, and then just having no compassion for the fact that somebody walked up on her mama, like stuff like that, sometimes I'll come on here and comment on, because like, come on, bro, you going too far. Like, but she constantly reveals who she is to us. And, I don't know if it go over people's head or whatever, but she constantly reveals exactly who she is. And she constantly reveals exactly who the problem is too. It's her, in my opinion. Not saying that the stuff that went on with her in the past didn't happen. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, at some point you're gonna have to choose to heal. At some point, you have to choose to want better. If you don't want to break your kids, you got to fix yourself. You got to choose to fix yourself so that you don't break your children. Because then you'll have these same stories later on down the line when your children get grown. They're gonna have these same stories about, yeah, my mom and daddy used to argue all the time. My mom used to always put him out. My mom used to always be crying all the time. And seeing her like that, you'll have that little girl being the type of woman don't know what type, and I'm just speaking from experience when I say this. You'll have that little girl feeling like, questioning the type of man that she wants, questioning what she should and shouldn't allow in her life, how much of it she should allow. You may create a little girl who thinks it's okay for a man to just be there. That's all. No matter what type of man he is, she just need a man there. You may create a little girl with that type of mindset that allow a man to consume her so much that she forgets about who she is. And you're okay with causing that type of trauma because you say you love him. You shouldn't be okay with that. But like I said, marriages are work. If you're married, marriage is work, baby. It's work, 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 work. Send me in a work, 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 work. You know, that's that. Like marriage is definitely that. But at the same time, if you're gonna constantly come on here, really not try to do the work, you just rather come on the internet and keep telling the stories, keep crying, keep talking about them, like, you know, like just keep downgrading them and all this and that. But you're not trying to do the work. You just rather create a video. You rather create a video to get views and make money instead of really just trying to do the work or getting down deep, deep, deep to the type of person that he is. Because then she mentioned something about the man in his life, what he come from is all the men are just like him. Okay, so that kind of tells you that what he has going on ain't gonna change. He gonna always be that guy, right? Because it's what he come from. Men that allow women to take care of him. She mentioned that herself on her video. So if you already know, right, that's just like this. That's just like it's people in my life or in my family that I know exactly who they are. I know the ones I can tell my business to, and I know the ones I can't. I know the ones I can give money to, and I know the ones I can't. You know, you know people for who they are after you be around them for a long time, but you learn how to love people just the way they are, flawed and all, because they have to love you the same, flawed and all, right? But if you're gonna take somebody as they are, why bash them? Take them as they are. Take them as they are. And I think the only reason why he takes the constant downing and bashing because he ain't trying to leave that bread. Like he really genuinely shows no interest. He shows no interest, and it could be because he, you know, it could at one point may have been different. But when she constantly bashed him, and she know once she cut that camera on, she don't care what she say out of her mouth. And 9 times out of 10, he gonna become a part of the video in the worst way, in the most negative way. That's probably why the man just be like, whatever. As long as I'm getting this paper, say what you want to say. I don't care. Because let me tell you something. I'm here to tell you this right now. If it was my situation, my husband ain't finna be with it. You gonna stop mentioning me on the internet or whatever, child. I would have to leave him by now to be saying the things she be saying about her husband. He had to be long gone from here. He would not be laying up under me while I'm talking about him like a dog on the internet. He wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't expect him to. Like that, see what I'm saying? Like stuff like this, it's just the mental capacity of these people. It just made me question it. Now she know the aspect of making that bread. Peachy know the aspect of making that money. You know, that's a critical, that's a critical skill in today's time. But it's the mental aspect of things. Like how you dog your husband when he's standing right beside you. That's how you know that gotta be about the money. Because ain't no way, unless he not, unless his elevator ain't going all the way to the top floor either. you know. But I think it's just more about the bread. He don't want to work hard for nothing. He feel like her money come easy. I don't think he really respect the hustle, long as the bread come in. So if he got to be the topic of discussion to get that money, then I think he's willing to. I really do. They say money is the root of all evil, and it's not really money; it's the love of it. So I think that's how she feel. No matter who she got to bash, she gonna do that. Like she say, she feel okay with going to blow all her money at the casino, as long as she make it back. So, because it really don't mean nothing to her, it has no value in her life. She basically say that, long as it can pay her bills and, support her gambling habit and keep her husband, okay, and keep her husband home. I just never want to love a man that much that he consumes every bit of me. I don't care how many children we got. I can't. It ain't. Let me tell you something. It ain't a Dino slinging. I don't care if that thing would go all the way up to my guts. Baby, you ain't finna play with me. You ain't finna make me wake up every day unhappy. 5 out of 7 days a week, I'm crying. Because at what point do you now stop blaming him and start blaming her for what she allowed? At what point are y'all going to stop bashing him and blame her for what she allowed? But it's all content at the end of the day. So I guess that's probably why she continued to do it. Because some people can relate. When she brings situations on his, a lot of women can relate. So they start trauma bonding. And what it does, every time she talk about her husband in a negative way, the views go up. They go viral. It goes viral. And I think she know that if her and her husband was really happy together and she posted the happiest parts of them, that it wouldn't go viral. So that's why I think that's why she put out more negative than positive. Because unfortunately, we live in a world that thrives off drama. We live off the world that thrives off negativity. But it just be sad because now your oldest son, he's on the internet too, so he got to see these things. And even though you may talk to him, see, children or say certain things, but they're only, unless they're 100% comfortable with their parent, there's some things that they're gonna keep back to spare your feelings. If they don't want to hurt you, they already know you're in a sensitive situation mentally. And I think maybe Peachy's son, he really just don't too much care. He want to be a content creator himself. He trying to focus on his own thing, you know. But it just be a lot. Then you cry and say you don't want to. Now, when she said she don't want broken children, I felt her 100% on that. Those tears were genuine. She don't want broken children, but she has to understand that she has to fix herself first, not to break her children. Because and then outside of worrying about breaking your children, baby, fix you, because you could constantly every day keep breaking yourself. That's why you can't hear from the childhood traumas and you keep regurgitating those, because you went into adulthood with traumas that you constantly keep reliving. It's like you don't want to heal. I think you think you're more profitable broken. I think that's how much you value yourself. You think you're more profitable to yourself broken. I think you feel like if you are healed, then you won't be profitable anymore. But again, that's the way society makes you feel. That only drama sells. That seeing somebody actually thriving, being happy, having a happy marriage, just continuing to talk about your children, what's all positive and beautiful in your life. People don't like that. People tend to try to pick apart happiness. They try to find some type of way to tear it down or to, you know, make you sad about it. I think that could be one of the few that thrives, or the few that you know thrives. So, but Peachy, like, I just feel sorry for a Peachy family for real. I do. Like, like I said, there's some things about Peachy that I like, but the way she do her family is just wrong. And anybody that think that she's right, like y'all crazy. Y'all gotta put yourself in those people's situation. Like, you come out here and tell about the most sensitive traumas that your mom and daddy went through with being violated at young ages. And you come out and bring that story out. Even the one about your daddy, like, why would you do that? Like, you do this stuff with no type of recourse, and you still try to live off the childhood traumas they caused you, while you are doing this stuff to them as adults, but you're the victim. No, you're not. You're inflicting the same pain on them that you could talk about one, two, three situations that they did to you. You inflicting the same pains on them in adulthood. You trying to tear these people down with every ounce of you, and you work overtime trying to do it. And it's ridiculous. And please understand, you will reap the harvest of the seeds that you've sown. And no matter how much money, Peachy, you got in this world, you cannot escape God's wrath. And you can sit there and say this, that, and the third, but the difference between me and you, sister, is I know I'm imperfect. And a lot of stuff has gone on with me in my life, Peachy, but I never do people like you doing. And I don't get no thrill out of continuously living in the past or living in the indiscretions of others, what other people has done to me. And I chose to turn that pain into power, sister. And that's what you need to try to do. Because the way you doing your mom and them, you are ridiculous. And like I said, everything, I hope that God continue to bless you, because you have 7 kids that need you to stay elevated. But baby, God gonna humble you. And when he humble you, I want you to understand it's all out of love. That God he's not doing it to punish you. He's doing it to heal you, because he's giving you a lot of free will to heal yourself. But instead of taking the time to heal yourself, you taking the time and the blessings that God give you to tear other people down. You can't elevate in life like that, Peachy. You cannot elevate in life tearing other people down. And you being a 6-figure content creator do not give you the right to try to dissect the most sensitive traumas in everybody else's life just for $1. God gonna hear, girl. God gonna humble you in the worst way, girl. You hear me? Because the stuff you do ain't right. Like, even talking about children getting taken advantage of, that shouldn't be a light subject. That wouldn't even be nothing unless it's my own situation and I decide I want to talk about it. I talk about it. But for the people, anybody else that it happened to, that wouldn't be my story. And I don't care what they do to me. It would never be a conversation that I bring to the internet. They have to heal in their own time and talk about their own story. All right, because at the end of the day, no matter how much you dislike your mama and dad, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here right now. The disrespectful child you are. The disrespectful child that you are. Honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days shall be long. He didn't say that come with, you know, only in certain situations. Regardless of who your mama was yesterday, that's not who that lady is today. And if that lady don't want to rock your 7 kids, she don't have to. If she don't want your children running around tearing up her house, dirtying up her house because you don't require them to clean up at your house, she don't have to. You let them children run around and tear your house up with no recourse. If she don't want that at her house, she don't have to. I love them from a distance. Let me come visit them at your house. They can't come over here and tear up my house. I done raised my children. And your children ain't gonna come. People have a right to feel like that. Y'all ridiculous. I tell my children all the time. Y'all have all the children y'all want. I deal with them when I want to deal with them. I'm not obligated because I've spent my whole life raising children. And I love all of them with everything in me. But baby, if I don't want to be bothered, I have the right to say I don't want to be bothered. And I don't care how nobody feel about it. And it don't make me a bad parent. It don't make me a bad grandmother. Even once you to raise on, when you just spent your whole life raising children, when you're in your old age, a lot of times, they don't want to deal with no doggone children. This is their time for them to be set free. And for them to go out and enjoy their life. They're not going to be locked down with your kids because you decided to keep your my decision to keep my legs in the number 11, baby, was my decision. So I rock those babies. If ain't nobody want to keep them, they don't have to. They don't have to take time out their life to raise my children. They don't have to take time out their life to rock my babies because I got to go to work. Figure it out. That's your obligation. When you decide to have those children, they are obligated to only you and the father. Yes, it's good to help. But listen, it's no obligation. That's where y'all get it twisted. But like I said, the one thing I can say about Peachy family, even though she do this to them, when she come back, when she have her arms wide open and just feel like she want to come out of this mental place that she's falling into, they will open arms. So like I said, regardless of what you say, how much you bashed them people, how bad you did those people, you turn right around and did your mama like that after she was up at that hospital with you. And you know what? Like I say, she's do this when her and her husband going through stuff. But instead of her tearing him down in the worst way, she'll tear him down a little bit. But instead of dissecting his behind, she'll tear her family down. Hey, Sabrina. She'll tear her family down instead of dealing with him. She want to tear her mama down. She want to tear her daddy down. She want to tear her sister down. Like I said, the sister ain't did nothing to her. You just sat on the other day and felt like you wanted to feel some particular type of way, and you told your sister down for no reason and decided to say, well, today is the day I cut my family off. Good for your family. Good for them. It's probably one of the best things that could ever happen to them. You leaving them the heck alone and staying out their business so they don't have to worry about their business hitting the internet before they decide to get on the internet and tell their own business. Or they being comfortable with keeping something for themselves. Because everything they say to you come out your mouth like tap water. And you think you have the right to come on here and run them people's business just for $1. Like, it just be ridiculous what you do to your own family. And everybody, just because they support you. Let me tell you something. One thing about support, it's okay to support people, but the realest support, that's just like me. It'd be 1 or 2 or 3 people on this chat. I'm fine with that. You understand? And if people start to be real supporters of mine, just like I said from day one, if you see me getting out of pocket, out of line, I appreciate the ones that'll pull me to the side and be like, or inbox and be like, yeah, you was out of pocket. You was out of line for that. And then you express to me why you feel like I was out of pocket. And if I can see it from your point of view, I'm going to appreciate what you gave me. Right? Because we all are imperfect. And sometimes when you're emotional, especially speaking off emotion, you can say things that you shouldn't say, or you say things that you don't mean. But I don't want y'all to walk with me until my demise. Don't sit here and walk with me and support me to the point everything I say is right. That ain't real support. That's being a puppet. I'm not a puppet master. And y'all shouldn't let nobody be y'all puppet master. If somebody wrong, tell them they wrong. Like that, put yourself in the shoes of the people that she on here talking about. Would you want somebody to come out and tell your childhood trauma like that? When it's been your innocence being taken? Would you think that that's okay for somebody else to come out and present that story to the world? When you may have not even dealt with it yet mentally. You may never wanted to revisit that place again, because sometimes the things that happen to us as child, we compress them. We compress them and we don't want to deal with them until one day we have to, right? Something may happen in your life traumatic that makes you have to deal with that childhood trauma, right? So then you have to revisit that place and you deal with it, right? But that should be on your own time. You reserve the right to tell that type of story yourself or not tell it, right? Because nobody was there but you and the person that was doing it to you, right? You deserve to heal in your own time. It's nobody else's right to come out here and do that. And like I said, if it's respected by anybody, you're not a good person. Something wrong with you. And be careful of the things that you put your mouth on. Be careful on the things that you rejoice in, because sometimes those things come knocking at your own front door. Because you thought it was okay when it was happening to somebody else. So now, here you go. It's on your porch. Let's see how you deal with it. And then you think it's wrong when it's getting done to you, but you supported somebody else doing it to somebody else. You thought it was a key, right? You thought it was funny, right? You indulged in it. You shared it. You all participated in re-victimizing these people. Sharing it, sharing it, sharing it. I understand why she know you don't. It's no way you understand why she doing this. Like, unless your wires are just as crossed as hers. Like, and I know there's a lot of bad people in this world, y'all, but y'all can't be this bad. Hey, Dwayne. Like, it's no way that y'all think this stuff okay. Like I said, even the situation just happened with her sister's son. Why are you bringing that out? That is a child. He made a mistake. And a lot of times, unfortunately, in this world, them young boys really feel like they gotta be ready. They gotta stay ready so they don't gotta get ready. Doesn't make it right, no. But sometimes it's areas that these children are coming up in, they understand they gotta stay ready so they don't gotta get ready. It's unfortunate that a lot of people feel like these babies feel like they gotta do that. It don't make it right. Or we all wish that we never lived in a world where our children felt like that they had to do stuff like that, right? But we don't know the adversities that they face when they go out our door. You got to understand, it's children around here 14, 13, and younger that carry things. That carry, that thing on their hip. And so unfortunately, these babies feel like, they got to stay ready. My baby, what happened to my son? A 14-year-old did that to my child. A 14-year-old did that to my son. And because of the fact that he was 14 years old, he shot my son, and he only got 5 months of DJJ. And now he back out here walking, and he way worse than he was when he shot my baby. And I thank God that God spared my child life. You understand? So every day I pray that my son don't feel like he that type of child. I feel like I got to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Because now that changed his life forever. Although he healed, his mentality is different. Every day I got to constantly pour into him, which I did before, always, but still constantly try to drive that hate out of him. Drive that that want to revenge every day. When I see him get too quiet, I go up to him, I hug him, baby. You all right? What you thinking about? Because still to this day, I'm scared of the day that he may flip if I don't stay on him constantly like that. And do you think he may not have felt like that? Huh? I got to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Right? And all my child was doing was walking to the store. Right? But instead of a little boy that he had an issue with feeling like that he wanted to fight him, he felt like he wanted to do what he did to him. He felt like he wanted to take a weapon and shoot my kid instead of fighting. if it was that bad. Because see, and you know what? I didn't understand that because I'm from an era where children would fight, right? Even though we don't promote violence in no type of way, but you know, they will fight. The last thing they want to do is do something that was that permanent, you know? So her getting on here trying to make her sister look bad for her son doing it. Did you bother to find out the situation? Did you bother to find out whether your nephew may have been going through some things at school with people harassing them? Did you bother to find out if somebody was making your nephew feel so unsafe that that's the decision that he made? We have almost the same story. Oh, girl, I just thank God, Lord, that he spared my baby. You hear me? Because Lord Jesus. But you know, every day is still a work in progress trying to heal my child. They're trying to keep him from becoming the worst that he could be as far as his mental. And like I said, that revenge game. And that's a constant fear. That him getting retaliation, all that is a constant fear of mine. That's one of those fears I wake up and go to sleep with. You know, so I do my best to make sure he's happy all the time. He's laughing all the time. You know, I try not to give him a minute of sadness because I don't want him to feel like, I'm just, it's always that fear that it's only going to take one thing to trigger it because he still feel like he ain't get the justice he deserved. Like, Mom, you ran to the cops, you did this and that, and this was the outcome. You know, so like I said before, Peachy was so quick to get on here and try to, but he sick, judge your own nephew. Did you bother to find out why your nephew felt like that's what he needed to do? You are a despicable person for that. And that's speaking from a mama that done went through something like that with her doggone baby. You don't know what's going on with these children because you keep your children so close that they're in the doggone house all the time unless you taking them out places with you. They don't get to interact with other kids. So they don't have to deal with the things that a lot of our children have to deal with out here. Because we let our children actually be children and interact with other people's kids. So how you can't speak on things that you don't even do. If your child was, you blessed enough to keep them at Busch Gardens and Disney World, all the fun stuff. Now my son is licensed to carry. Okay. I know that's right. I know that's right, Sabrina. Because you know what? The sad thing about it is no matter how you raise your kids, a lot of people don't raise their kids that way. A lot of people don't raise their kids to value human life. So you're doing your best to be the best mama that you can be, raising your children to the best ability of you, telling your children right from wrong. And then they encounter somebody else's child that just don't care nothing about life. And in that moment, everything that you did can get erased because your child can make a decision based on to save their life. Right? And it can change them overnight. Now you got this child that feel like they gotta, you know what I'm saying? They gotta conform to the outside world now. You are a wonderful woman, wife, mom, grandma, and friend. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Now they feel like they gotta conform to that. I gotta stay ready, so I ain't gotta get ready. Since other people, kids out here feel like that's the type of game that they gonna play. Cause see, I raised my children to fight. Cause that's the way I come from. And when I say I raised them to fight, again, not promote violence. I'm talking about if somebody come up on you and they bother you to the point you protect yourself in that way. I didn't raise them to pull weapons on people. Because one thing about us, when we were children, we would fight, but we all live to fight another day, honey. I don't care if I had to fight you 1,000 times. You beat me up. Now that's one thing you had to worry about with me. You beat me up, I'm gonna come back till I win. I don't care if you let me win, baby. I ain't stopping till I win. You got me messed up. But that ain't the world we live in now. These children so soft because they ain't outside riding bikes. They ain't outside playing in the fire hydrants. They ain't outside flipping on the mattresses. All they is doing is coming straight in the house. They on the internet. They on the video games. And now they weak, man. They ain't built. These children ain't built for it tough. They ain't built tough at all. They don't know nothing about earthing, going outside with your shoes off, running around the yard. Earthing, the stuff that was needed to make them strong, make them thoroughbred. They ain't built like that these days. That's why the first thing a lot of them think they got to do is grab a weapon. They scared to put their fists up. But you want to start something. But the first thing you want to do once somebody go ahead and meet you at your challenge, you want to grab a weapon. You think that make you a man. You know, you're a coward. You're a coward at such a young age. So now a cowardly child will grow into a cowardly man. But I still constantly just tell my sons like that ain't, that ain't the way. You got to worry about not only people, you got to worry about law enforcement and all that. Anybody catching you slipping like that. Until you're old enough to become licensed to carry. Like I can't be the mom that says okay. You understand? I can't be the mom to say, even though this happened to you now, I feel like you should carry. No, I can't be that mom. Even though a lot of people would say, a lot of people in my family be like, man, you didn't see what happened. You better let them stay ready. This, that, and the third and fourth. No, I can't. I just can't. Right? And so, like I said, when she said that about her nephew, it kind of touched me in a place. My son is a fighter nowadays. They don't want to fight no more, Miss Sabrina. They're gonna run from a fight. They're gonna be ready to pull out something on them. They don't want to fight. Like, they cowardly. Like I said, these children don't even know nothing about earthing. Walking outside with no shoes on, running. That's why we were so tough, because we was run outside with no shoes on. We had fun. We was out the door. The most thing we had to worry about is make sure we was in the house before the street lights came on. These children don't know nothing about that now. They so doggone weak. They don't want to do nothing but sit on Instagram all day. They don't want to do nothing but sit on the internet. Child back, please. The worst punishment you could have gave a child back in the day is telling them they can't go outside. Now you tell them they can't go outside. That don't hurt them. Ain't nothing outside they want anyway. But you take them electronics, or they want to tear your house up, because that's all they know. It's programmed to be just how it is. Create these weak behind children that want to grab it. It's all, y'all. That's gonna be a topic for another day, baby. But it's all they. I'm telling you, they programmed our child. They program it hard, baby. And the children can't even see it no matter how much you tell it to them. They be like, oh, you just old. You don't understand the ways of the new world. Y'all, they think we ain't never been kids before. You hear me? I don't care what you tell your children in this day and age. They think we never been kids before, honey. We don't know nothing about life. Never been kids. Never lived. Everything we say, we picking on them. Or I'm not, just because I do this and that don't mean I'm going to be who you was as a child. Stop using because of the things you went through as a child, thinking I'm going to go through the same thing, baby. You going to go through worse. Because the world that you live in is way worse than the one I lived in. You know what I'm saying? What you go through is going to be 100% worse. Because, baby, we ain't go through what you went through. And see, we had genuine relationships with people. Because we was outside playing, creating genuine bonds. We wasn't creating and finding no friends on Instagram. In the 70s, we used our fists. And not exactly, Dwayne. Exactly. At all. But now, they scared. They scared. They scared to take a licking and keep on ticking, baby. They feel like they so worried about their reputations. They can't take. But, baby, I even know you can't beat everybody. It's a one thing my grandma always told me, is a match out there for everybody. She used to always tell me that you swear you're bad, you're gonna run into that person that's gonna tear you up. It's somebody out there for everybody. She used to tell me that all the time. Cause when I say I was a fighter, honey, I was a firecracker. You couldn't even look at me hard when I was coming up. You know, and something, of course, as in adulthood, that ain't nothing that I think is cute now, but it all came with maturity. I used to just feel like the way I felt, you know. But of course, none of my children, I tell them quick. Child by when I see like this one right here, Lele, she be like that. She be trying to do to what I be telling you. She be trying to get all loud. I'm like, girl, please chill yourself out. I deal with it in the moment. Like, people can look at you, who you think you is. But then I have to go on the cut when we get home, and I have to laugh to myself, like, ooh, girl, you used to be just like that. Y'all know them situations when you see your child. Girl, it don't matter. Like everybody ain't got no issue. No, but mostly, like, I ain't gonna say nothing, but if I look at you and you look at me and I feel like you're looking at me the wrong way, why are you looking at me? Like, what's the tea? What's tea? What's this? You wanna fight? Girl, like, please. How it is. That's how she try to be. And I address it. And I address it every time. Finish braiding your hair first, and then I'll see. No, exactly. My son's gonna come out. Can I use these real quick? Lily, stop playing with my baby beads. And I'll be the one. I'll be like, girl, sit your behind down. I'll address her in the moment. And I don't care if it embarrasses her or nothing. I'll be like, sit down. Who you think you is that nobody can't look at you? Ain't you out in public? Like I said, and I have to address it just like that. And then, like I said, I have to come, when I come back home in my room, I have to laugh about it. I'll be like, ooh, girl, that girl just like you when you was coming up. You know what I'm saying? But you can't say that stuff in front of them. They be like, ooh. But baby, when you have to see them things, but that's why I say I address them in the moment. So I go ahead and let her know in the moment. Chill your behind out. That ain't cute. You don't want nobody to look at you, stay in your room and look at yourself all day long. But you have to address it in the moment. You just can't let it carry. You know what I'm saying? But it just be so funny to see little certain things like that. But yeah, Peachy is a mess. Peachy is ridiculous. And she's getting worse. The more, the more fuel, like I said, because her and her sister had, you was happy. Your family had nothing going on. You sat there and created a situation that didn't exist to think about something that happened years and years and years and years ago, just to flip on your sister today. Like that's like I said, if that don't show y'all enough of who the problem is, nothing will. You went back and dug up an old situation from over a century ago to start mess today. Like you and your family ain't gonna never be on good terms because you won't allow it. That's the bigger thing. Peachy won't allow her family to heal. She the problem. But y'all, I'll be back probably later. I might come back later on the day. Dwayne, you came towards the end. So I might be back later on the day, y'all. But I gotta get up and get to moving. May your today be better than yesterday. May your tomorrow be better than today. Know that every day God blows their breath in your body. You're one step closer to your season. Don't fumble yourself worrying about the world. And Peachy, stop hating on your mama because her man love her. Girl, bye. We see right through you. You hate your mama because of the way that man love your mama. Ridiculous. Start the healing. And I'm out, y'all.